If you're over 60 and have begun waking up at night to urinate more than once, or feel like your bladder never fully empties, or find yourself standing there for what seems like an eternity waiting for the stream to start, pay close attention. These symptoms aren't just a normal part of aging. They indicate that something more significant is occurring in your body, something much more common than most men realize. As a prostate specialist, I've witnessed this repeatedly. I'm here to tell you that your prostate is trying to communicate with you. Often it's not your age causing the issue, but your daily habits. Small, seemingly insignificant actions you might do without thinking can cause your prostate to grow larger, heavier, and more difficult to manage. But here's the good news. Once you identify these habits, you can change them. By doing so, you give your body the opportunity to restore balance, reduce pressure, and regain comfort. In this video, I'll guide you through 3 everyday habits that quietly contribute to prostate enlargement and what you can do instead. These habits are incredibly common, even among otherwise healthy men. However, when repeated over time, they stress your urinary system, trigger inflammation, and gradually push your prostate out of balance. You'll learn what these habits are, why they matter, and the small changes you can start making today. If you're tired of discomfort, urgency, or feeling like your bladder controls your life, this video is for you. Let me be clear, you are not destined to live with these symptoms. Your body can heal, especially when you remove the constant irritants. The first habit that silently enlarges your prostate over time is something simple that almost all of us are guilty of, especially when we're out, busy, or don't want to use a public restroom: holding your urine for too long. You might think waiting a little longer to finish an errand or get home is no big deal, but when this becomes a daily pattern, holding it in for long periods before allowing yourself to empty, you create pressure not just in the bladder, but in the entire prostate region. Your prostate sits directly beneath your bladder, wrapping around your urethra like a soft, flexible collar. This tube carries urine from the bladder out through the penis. Imagine this tube surrounded by a ring. When that ring becomes swollen or tight, it doesn't take much to slow things down. When your bladder becomes too full, whether from holding in urine during a long drive, putting it off while watching a movie, or ignoring the urge during errands, it starts to expand upward and downward, putting pressure right on the prostate. It's like leaning on a sponge that's already sensitive. The more the bladder stretches, the more it pushes into the prostate tissue, which is already working hard. Over time, this repeated pressure creates small but significant changes. The once flexible prostate becomes irritated, the tissue thickens, swelling sets in, and for many men, this constant strain becomes one of the quiet drivers of prostate enlargement. Men who routinely delay urination, especially those who think they're toughing it out or just waiting until it's convenient, often develop what we call bladder outlet obstruction. This is when the bladder is ready to empty, but the passageway is too narrow. The bladder muscle must work harder to push through a tight channel because the prostate has become enlarged and rigid. It's not only uncomfortable, but can also cause long-term weakening of the bladder over time. This habit might seem harmless. After all, what's a little delay here and there? But to your body, it's like trying to force a balloon to hold more air than it was designed to, again and again, day after day. Eventually, it affects structure, tone, and function. And unlike a balloon, your bladder and prostate don't pop. They adapt, and not always in good ways. If you're in the habit of waiting until the urge becomes nearly unbearable, I gently encourage you to change that pattern. Start listening to your bladder again. Go when you feel the need, not when it becomes urgent. Responding earlier relieves pressure and helps your entire urinary system stay in better rhythm. This might seem like a small change, but over time, it can lift an enormous weight off your prostate and give it the space it needs to calm down, heal, and shrink back toward normal. Now, let's move on to the second habit, which surprises many men because it seems completely unrelated at first glance: ignoring constipation. When your bowel is full of compacted stool, especially from a diet lacking fiber, that pressure pushes directly against the back of the prostate. This pressure isn't momentary, It's constant, like having a brick sitting against a sponge all day, every day. It stresses the tissue, limits circulation, irritates the nerves, and creates low-grade inflammation that doesn't just stay in the colon. It spreads to surrounding structures, including the prostate. Over time, that chronic inflammation is one of the major contributors to benign prostatic hyperplasia, or what most men know as an enlarged prostate. But it doesn't stop there. Constipation also disrupts your internal chemistry. When stool stays in the body too long, it throws off your gut bacteria, that delicate ecosystem inside your digestive tract. When that balance is off, it creates system-wide inflammation, affecting everything from your immune system to your prostate. The modern diet, particularly for older adults, tends to be high in refined carbohydrates, low in fiber, and often filled with processed foods, cheese, red meat, and not nearly enough water. These choices slow digestion, dry out stool, and cause the bowels to back up, sometimes without you even noticing right away. What starts as occasional sluggishness turns into a vicious cycle. Constipation causes pressure, which inflames the prostate. The inflammation worsens the swelling, and the swelling worsens your urinary symptoms. So if you're not going regularly, or if your stools are hard, dry, or leave you straining, your prostate may be taking the brunt of that imbalance. Thankfully, the solution is within reach. You can begin to gently increase your fiber through natural, soothing sources. Think about adding more cooked vegetables, fruits like prunes or pears, whole grains like oats, and simple digestive aids like chia seeds or ground flax seeds. These foods not only soften your stools and improve transit, but also reduce the internal pressure on your prostate from the inside out. And when your bowels move freely and completely, your prostate finally gets to relax. It's like clearing a crowded hallway. Everything flows better when the path is open. Now, let's talk about the third habit, one that is incredibly common, especially in the retirement years when routines slow down and comfort becomes more important than activity. Sitting for long periods without moving, whether it's relaxing in front of the television, sitting at a desk with a cup of tea, scrolling through your phone, or reading a good book in your favorite armchair. The hours can pass quickly, and before you know it, your body has been inactive for much too long. What feels restful on the outside can actually become stagnant on the inside. The pelvic area, where your bladder, colon, and prostate all live, is built for subtle, continuous motion. It thrives on circulation, needing blood flow and gentle movement to keep nutrients coming in and waste being carried away. But when you sit for long stretches without moving, that lower part of your body stagnates. Circulation slows down, oxygen and nutrients stop flowing freely, and lymph drainage weakens, meaning your body becomes less efficient at removing toxins and inflammatory waste. And those byproducts start to collect right in the area where your prostate lives. The prostate is a soft, delicate gland not built to handle constant stagnation. Like any living tissue, it needs good blood flow to stay healthy. When that flow is restricted for hours every day, the prostate can become inflamed, swollen, and irritated. Over time, this contributes to the kind of slow, silent growth that leads to prostate enlargement. Men who sit for long periods daily without incorporating movement are far more likely to develop pelvic tension, chronic low-level inflammation, and eventually, an enlarged prostate. And it often happens without obvious symptoms until the discomfort, urgency, or disrupted sleep shows up months or years later. This is why I recommend what I call movement snacks throughout the day. Small, simple bursts of gentle activity, just enough to wake up your circulation and remind your pelvic area that it's still alive and needed. You don't have to go jogging or break a sweat. Even something as modest as standing up every 30 to 40 minutes, walking across the room, taking a few deep breaths while gently swinging your legs, or stretching your lower back can bring life back into that part of your body. Think of your prostate like a sponge. If it never gets squeezed or moved, it starts to stiffen and collect waste. But when you move, even just a little, you help that sponge stay soft, fresh, and well-nourished. Movement isn't just about staying in shape. It's about keeping the core of your body vibrant, alive, and responsive, especially the hidden parts you don't see, but that quietly shape your comfort, energy, and quality of life. Even a few mindful minutes of movement every hour can help keep your prostate healthier for years to come. So now you know 3 quiet, everyday habits that slowly contribute to prostate enlargement: holding your urine too long, neglecting your fiber intake, and sitting for hours without movement. These aren't dramatic issues, but that's what makes them dangerous. They sneak in without much noise, and over the years, they create a world of discomfort, urgency, and frustration. But here's the power in all of this. Every one of these habits can be changed gently, gradually, and with care. You don't need to overhaul your life or start from scratch. You simply need to bring awareness to how your daily choices affect your prostate. I've seen men in their 60s, 70s, and even 80s improve their symptoms, reduce their nighttime trips to the bathroom, regain stronger flow, and feel more at ease in their own bodies just by shifting these core behaviors. So if you've been feeling frustrated, uncomfortable, or even a little afraid of what's happening, take a deep breath. You are not alone, and you are not powerless. Your prostate doesn't need to rule your life. You can take care of it, just like it has been trying to take care of you. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe and share it with a friend. Sometimes the most powerful changes come from the smallest bits of knowledge. Thank you for watching, and remember, your health is not behind you. It is in your hands, and the best is still to come.